جشن هنر یک هیئت امنا داشت که افراد مختلفی در زمینه‌های مختلف از دولت، از وزرا، از هنرمندان غیره تشکیل شده بود و یه هیئت مدیره بودجه‌اش دولت میداد و سازمان برنامه، تا اونجایی که اگه یادم باشه واقعا شروع شد با یه مبلغی مثل 600,000 تومان اون سال اول. بعدها تلویزیون ملی هم کمک میکرد و مهم اون بود که تلویزیون برنامه ها رو نشون میداد. در هیئت مدیره اگه درست یادم باشه آقای شادروان، دکتر مهدی بوشهری و فرخ قفاری هیئت مدیره بودن، زاونا کوپیان از وزارت فرهنگ و هنر و رضا قطبی مدیر عامل بود.
Reza was really the man who was not only organizing, but he was the essential man. As far as he was the cousin of the Queen, it was more easy for him to help the festival to go on. I mean, his wife Shahzad was in charge of the music too, and she was very bright and sharp. And Reza and Shahzad were very essential for the festival. That's evident.
It was very exciting for many people because for the first time they could discover authors, regisseurs, choreographers they have never seen elsewhere. Peter Schumann, Pina Bausch, the choreographer, and many others.
Farokh Afari gave me the right to be the photographer of the festival for television organization. And it was a fabulous opportunity for me to take pictures and to be with people I admire. A lot of performers were from Western country, but not only, because we found some show coming from Dubai or Kuwait. It was some show coming from India too, especially the Kathakali. It was a fantastic show in Persepolis, so colorful. It was a tragedy, and sometimes it was music, it was dancing.
یه برنامه دیگه هم از بلی اومده بود، از گملون.
At the end of the night, I mean, not very late at the Afezieh, they were playing music, Persian music, for hours. So we can wait the sunrise at the end. So it was really something magic because it was really like a kind of Mille et une nuits, because it was non-stop.
A play in 1971 in Paris, and it was first production to have in Europe. And it was in the early part of 1971, and Her Majesty came, and we had had a big success. And she came backstage and introduced herself. It was a play that was 7 hours long and silent. And she said she was fascinated by the performance, and she would like to invite me to go to the Shiraz festival. I said, what would you think if I made a play that was 7 days long, but the overture for it would be in Paris at the Opera Comique. And she said, the idea is fascinating. How would you do a 7-day play? So I said, I would like to do it outdoors. And so she said, oh, it'd be great in Persepolis. And I had never been to Iran. And so I went. Driving to Persepolis, I saw the landscape. And I said, I would rather perform in the foothills leading to Persepolis. And it was interesting because I had found 7 hills that got progressively higher. So the idea was to have on day 1 activities, and day 2 on the 2 hills, and the 3rd day on 3 hills. So by the 7th day, there would be activities happening on all 7 hills. And much to my surprise, they said, okay, we'll produce it, we'll do it.
It was called Mountain play, and it was a story on the mountain. The people were going up and down the mountain, and the show was never ending. And that was fascinating. I mean, and the strange thing that the people of Shiraz, I mean, the students, because it was a university in Shiraz, they were coming, go back home, and coming back next day during nights, spending all night during the show, and the show was never ending.
It was very strange to make a piece in these foothills because I was in someone's backyard. There were people who lived in these foothills that had never even been to Shiraz, which is nearby, just at the bottom of the foothills. And they were shepherds across the hills, and I couldn't kick them out of my play. I mean, they were already a part of it. The people who were participating in the play were very old people, very young people, people who spoke only Farsi, some people only spoke French, some people only spoke Portuguese or Japanese, but we had a common language. And especially in my work, because it's visual, so the play could be easily understood by anyone because there was no language barrier.
Everybody was mixing, and everybody understand what happened. They were giving us just paper to tell you the story, so you can follow it. But he was playing all language, and everybody participated like he was in their own language.
I did performances in Shiraz in a beautiful 17th century house, which were 4 8-sided buildings with a reflective pool of water. There were groves of orange trees and birds, parrots, or whatever in the trees.
The landscape of Shiraz helped a lot. I mean, it was a lot of old house we can play in. I mean, I was talking about the aphasia for music, but it was Del Gosha, the bar at Del Gosha, with a beautiful garden in front of a very old house. It was a Japanese director who made a fantastic play. And the dramatic situation, it was translated more or less, because it was in Japanese, but we can understand the story. And suddenly the man went out of the building from the top, walking down the street to the bottom. So that was fascinating because we were like that. We didn't understand how you can come down straightly, and in fact he had a rope on the back. But it was
هفتمین جشن هنر شیراز با بالای گلستان شروع شد. موریس بژر هنرمند و بالرین فوق‌العاده بود که خیلی علاقمند بود به ایران و 1 سال پیش از جشن هنر آمده بود ایران و دیده بود و موسیقی رو گوش داده بود و سفر کرده بود و راجع به فرهنگ و هنر ایران مطالعه کرده بود، ولی فکر خود بژر بود که گلستان رو درست کرد. جشن هنر بهش نگفت که اسم گلستان رو گذاشت و رضوی سروستانی میخوند از اشعار مولانا که حیلت رها کن عاشقا، دیوانه شو دیوانه شو و در دل آتش درا، پروانه شو پروانه شو. اصلا یه چیز فوق‌العاده‌ای بود یه همچی چیزی. و این همین گفتگوی تمدن‌ها اینجوری شروع شد. اول برنامهش یه موسیقی که گذاشت که اصلا ما نمیدونیم چیه، از بلوچستان می آمد و میدونی خیلی کسا مطالعه میکردن با این موسیقی های محلی، خیلی برنامه محلی بود. اصلا موقعی که اینو خوندن توی تخت جمشید الزتم بودن اتفاقا یه چیزی و رقصنده جورجدون اهل ارژانتین یه چیز فوق‌العاده‌ای بود.
First time he was showing this ballet, it was absolutely fabulous. And I was on my taking picture everywhere, trying to take as much picture as I can. And for those big events, normally the Queen was there, and a lot of people came from Tehran for this ballet and for this show. And it was a lot of people from around, because when the Queen was coming, a lot of people were coming too. So it was completely full. I mean, it was difficult to find space.